Hello, hi Laurie, how are you doing?
Hi, I'm fine, thank you.
Excellent. So, hi everybody, this is Service Excellence at, and today we welcome our guest, Laurie Jamie, who is the Partnership Manager at Serco, based in Lilleshall Hall, which is a former hunting lodge for the Duke of Sutherland. She's working now on behalf of Sport England, with responsibility for a national sports centre, providing a home base to many athletes, not me, I'm not athletic at all, including teams that represent GB in the Olympics, together with beautiful, stunning boutique hotel style accommodation. That sounds pretty amazing. You must meet some quite amazing people, actually.
I am really, really lucky. So every day I work with a fantastic group of people, and that's right from some of our athletes on site that you've mentioned. We have lots of other customers, we have different on-site partners as well, and we've got a fantastic team that are based here as well, covering everything sort of delivery-wise that you can think of. So catering, gardens, cleaning, bookings administration, sales, all come through our team.
Wow, amazing. So just a vast role then, isn't it, that your team take care of? That sounds like everybody's got quite a good role and a lot to do with themselves. So tell us about your main role and how you got there eventually.
So my role, so I'm partnership manager, which I suppose a better way would be a general manager on the overall site. So I grew up locally. So I've known Lilleshall for a very, very long time. In actual fact, my parents' house is probably about a mile as far as the crow flies,
Wow.
so very, very close.
That's good.
I graduated and wasn't really sure what I wanted to do, but again, parents were quite insistent that what I was going to do was go and find a job quite quickly. Back then, and this is giving away my age a little bit, I got the local paper out and had a search through the local paper for suitable jobs.
A little couple of circles,
yeah. That's it, circle a few things, and found one for evening sports assistant, and it was here at Lilleshall, and I thought, well, that sounds okay, I could give that a go. Applied, interviewed, and I'm pleased to say that I got the job. So my first job on site is I used to sort of sweep squash courts and put up the badminton nets.
How long ago was that then?
Well, that's 13 years ago now.
No, you don't look old enough.
So I think I'd always said that I'll stay up for 6 months and then I'll go and find what's going to be my career, not expecting that I would fall in love with the place, with what we do, the activities that happen here, and say 13 years later, here I am.
Fabulous, thank you very much. I can see your little award behind you there, Laurie.
Yes.
Look at that shiny bit of glass. We like that. We very like that. So what do you enjoy most about your current role?
I think I've just touched on it then. I love the people that we work with. It is fantastic. And I feel really privileged every day to work with so many different people from so many different walks of life. And actually just overall that variety. So I can't think of many jobs or many venues where I could be working with Olympic athletes one day and sort of making sure that they've got what they need to potentially get a holding camp off. For example, recently we've obviously had Tokyo Olympics and we did all the work with them to make sure they safely got there during the pandemic. And the next day we could be working with a couple, helping them plan hopefully their perfect wedding day.
I love that. I love that, because then there's no monotony, is there? I mean, I personally, I'm not a fan of kind of that same thing out every day. So it must be quite nice and energetic, like, because obviously they're coming with their passion and their excitement, and it must rub off on you. I mean, I can tell from talking to you now that it's like, just that excitement and that buzz must
it's
really
a really
be quite
positive place to be. So we've got our athletes, we're home to a number of different organisations. So the Royal British Legion have got something called the Battle Back Centre here with us. So that's recovery for veterans and for wounded serving Ministry of Defence personnel. Through to the Home Office, have got a College of PE that are based with us. So hugely varied, and that means no day is ever the same. There's always something different. And, and that positive energy comes through from all of those different partners on site.
Amazing. I love that. What days. That's just lovely. That would make me, I mean, I'm happy listening to you, talking to you, tell me this. It must be wonderful. So what drove the decision for your team and you to work with Hospitality Assured?
So I think our strength was previously very much in the sports delivery of what we did, and that's where our focus had always been. When we started looking and when we joined Hospitality Assured, we were looking for an accreditation or for support that could help us develop the commercial side of our business a little bit more. And also actually that could help us improve and develop our customer service across the whole portfolio of all the services we deliver. And that's what we found in Hospitality Assured. So the 9 steps gave some really good, clear guidance to work through, a really good, simple process for us to review how we were performing and identify areas for improvement. And that went across all of those different services that I've mentioned earlier. And that's why for us, it felt like a really good fit.
Amazing. I guess there's that kind of bringing together as well. And with it not being so almost unapproachable, you know, you don't want to give your team an objective to achieve, but then offer them, you know, the only way you can get there is over this mountain, Lord of the Rings style. You know, nobody wants that. You know, I'm not saying it's not challenging, but it's got to be within your sight, hasn't it?
And that's been that continuous improvement and review and self-review of yourselves and self-assessment was really important to us as well. So it didn't matter where we were starting, and I felt that that was really clear within Hospitality Assured. You could be very, very experienced and delivering outstanding customer service and still find benefit from the scheme, or you could be a very new business starting out from a very beginning and again use those 9 steps in a different way for your own business and that's relevant to your organisation. And that was a huge added benefit for us.
Of course, because you don't want to get to those 9 steps and think, actually, this is not going to work for us. You know, they need to have that broad spectrum usage, don't they? That is, you know, that's just open to all and of all levels. Oh, excuse me. And has it changed the way that you work within the sports centres?
Yes, definitely. So we were sports centres to start with. One of the really nice developments that we've brought on over the last, well, from planning through to actually completion, took around about 5 to 6 years in the end, is the development of a much more commercial hotel offering. Right. So we've now got 29 beautiful bedrooms in the building that I'm in the main house. And the work we did with Hospitality Assured definitely influenced that. It helped us identify that was an area of business growth. So it wasn't just about customer service or customer excellence or recovery. Actually, we looked at what opportunity was there within our existing portfolio, or where could we have the best opportunity to grow. And the main house development in a different way than perhaps we would have done otherwise was one of the areas identified and has now come to fruition.
Isn't that beautiful to go from, you know, what you had was almost quite, you know, a solid idea that worked, but then to be able to now offer something bigger and bolder and beautiful, in essence, to offer a more in-depth package for those attending. That sounds beautiful. It
gives great choice. It supports our existing partners in a complementary way. So they've got an option to access upgraded facilities, but also it brings in new partners to the site, it brings in new customers to the site. And again, that helps that positive energy and that growth of the site as a whole in a holistic way.
Yeah, it's like you were saying about the weddings. Now you can offer things like that. You know, you're opening to a whole different market, and then they can have group bookings, and they can stay on site and that kind of thing, which opens a completely different. You know, then you're looking at breakfasts and things like that. So I can see, and I think that's really great that Hospitality Assured drove you towards, encourage that idea to expand. I think that's brilliant. So what are the key challenges that you feel that the company are facing now?
I imagine these are probably in keeping with a lot of those out there in the hospitality and the leisure industry. We've had some real challenges with recruitment and retention to some extent of our frontline team, particularly in our catering and our housekeeping roles. Right. That's been a big challenge to us. And in more recent months, I'd say we're also now starting to feel the impact of the rising cost of utilities. Mm-hmm. The estate is fantastic, it's amazing. It's about 200 acres, about 20 buildings, but the buildings in that estate are of varied ages. Right at the moment, I'm talking to you from an 1830s manor house, right through to we've got very new modern buildings on site, new office blocks. And they pose challenges, and we're certainly feeling the impact of that increased utility costs now.
Crazy, isn't it? I mean, how the impact, I think we're only just beginning to feel that impact, as you said. Who knows? You just don't know. You've just got to kind of hope, haven't you, a little bit that something will be done to help businesses and to keep hospitality alive once again. You know,
yes, it's been a challenging time for anyone anyway.
No, exactly. So what would you say to others who might be considering embarking on the Hospitality Assured accreditation journey? They're about to, thinking about it. What would you say?
I would say to really go into it with an open mind and make sure you take the advantage of the opportunities that are there. So the support that has come from assessors has been outstanding for us. The networking opportunities, one of the other reasons we were attracted to Hospitality Assured is actually there are quite a few very different properties and portfolios and organisations that are already accredited, and the opportunities of networking networking with those, because again, we don't particularly fit in a traditional box of hospitality or leisure.
Mm-hmm.
That was a real attraction for us. But we've also always viewed Hospitality Assured as a real tool for us.
Mm-hmm.
It's not been a tick box exercise. It's not been about an audit. It's been about using those tools to look at how we can self-reflect, how we can self-review, and then using that support and network that's out there and opportunities to actually grow our own business. So yeah, to go for new organisations, to go in with a really open mind, encourage that in your teams as well, because sometimes it can feel a bit scary and your team members can kind of back off from it a little bit, or they can perceive it to just be, oh, it's an audit, it's
they're looking for exactly. And then obviously getting that communication across that says,
yeah,
it's not an audit, this is about us all moving together as one to receive something well.
And I think when you take that approach and that sort of culture towards it, that's when it can be its most beneficial as well, and where we've had the most sort of improvements and benefit from the scheme.
And do you think it's brought your team together?
Yeah, it definitely has. So just the actual process of reviewing those 9 steps and things like the self-assessments, they need input from every different department and every different team. And some of the planning meetings, when we've been sort of preparing some of those documents to submit to yourselves, it's been fantastic. It's been great to make sure, you know, teams have sort of gone, oh, I forgot about that, and I forgot about that, and you know what, that went really well, and actually I've had an idea, we could recreate that and do it in a different way. Amazing. So it's been a great kind of recap of sort of positives, perhaps some lessons learned as well, and it's come together from all of those teams because that's what's needed for it.
Wonderful. That's such a great answer. We love those answers. We love those ones. We love to hear about bringing the teams together. So what's your most memorable experience been in the last 13 years? If you've got one, there's probably a few actually. So we've got time for a couple. You can give me a couple.
So we get to meet some really fantastic people. So we mentioned some of the athletes that we work around. So we've got lots of Olympic and Paralympic athletes that are here, lots of Commonwealth, World Championship athletes. They're amazing. Our beautiful site has been used as a filming venue on a number of occasions. So we've met some great celebrities through those as well. But I will honestly say in my 13 years, the most memorable day is I actually chose to have my own wedding here.
Oh.
So my most memorable day at the National Centres has got to be my own wedding. And we'd finished the refurbishment of the main house just pre-pandemic, and then I got married virtually as soon as we were allowed to, and that the restrictions lifted post-pandemic. So I was one of the very first weddings that happened, and I might be a little bit biased, I get that, but I can say it was a perfect day in a perfect venue.
I'm a newlywed too, so I'm like, yeah, it was the best day ever. Oh, that must have been so nice, and something that you could be proud of as well. Of course, it's your big day, but to have all your family there where you work as well, like you must have been, you must have been so proud and so obviously so full of love as well. But that must have been an incredible day, really, truly.
It was. Yeah, very, very grateful to the team who made the day so amazing, and it was really nice to experience it as a customer. And then it gave me a different insight into how those couples feel when they're with us as well, and fantastic. But yeah, that's my most memorable one, I think.
That is beautiful. I love that. Okay, and then finally a sports question, because obviously we can't really have this conversation without a little bit of sports. So do you prefer to watch and participate, or if you do like to get involved, not necessarily with your athletes because that would be crazy, but on your own, what's your favourite sport?
So I'm more of a watcher than a participator, and certainly in terms of the sports that are based here on site. They're a little bit like children. I'm not allowed a favourite, I don't think. I can say that I like watching all of our sports that are here, and I particularly like it because actually you feel a connection to them. So when you see one of those athletes that's on a podium or has qualified for whatever it might be, and that can really vary from, you know, for some it might be a very personal ambition that we're aware of and that they've achieved, through to standing on the very top end of international podiums. But you definitely feel the connection to them. There's a sense that they're our athletes, and there's a real sense of pride, I feel myself, and I know that the whole team do as well, when we see those athletes succeed.
I love that. That's amazing. Well, that's it then. I mean, that was quite quick and painless, wasn't it? Not too painful, I hope. We're going to sign off now. On behalf of Hospitality Assured, I'd like to say thank you so much for taking the time to talk to us today. And it's wonderful to get your feedback on how it's worked for you and your teams. We really appreciate that very much, Laurie.
Brilliant. It was lovely to talk to you.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Laurie. Take care.
Bye.
Bye.